Hey everybody, I wanted to put a video together today on some of the basic mechanics that a few of you have seen actually in the classes as of late. Hip mobility with the focus on strengthening the legs and protecting the knees. So the idea at first is to focus on the door concept with a little bit of a just basic stance. A small stance, it's not a big stance, about shoulder width apart. You're going to drop in the hip and stick out your butt. But you should be able to see your toes and beyond. Maybe this much of your foot and your toe fully. From your knees, looking down. With the hands behind the back, I'm going to have you turn your hips to one side with the shoulders follow. But as you notice, the knees, the legs, don't change position. So we're just going to kind of play with this back and forth rotation, noticing that my knees are not, nor my legs are not moving at all. And all the movement's coming from here. I suggest to do this nice and gently. You can begin to soften, releasing the hip, and then opening up your flexibility and your ability to kind of rotate with a nice large panorama. Be easy with this. I treat this like a warm-up in the mornings. My legs getting strong, my knee is safe and protected. All right? Just back and forth. Just back and forth. As you get a little bigger in the stance, again, I'm going to recommend feet can be completely parallel, almost awkwardly so for a few of you. It's going to feel different. I don't want to see any of this kind of stuff because that's going to kind of make the knees a bit more vulnerable, at least for the time being. For now, we're going to keep it kind of strict and structured. Again, stick out your butt a little bit. Be okay with that. You're going to feel the tension more through here. You're going to have tension here, but it's going to be less than the inside. And we're going to play with this idea of kind of coming over to the side and twisting. Shifting and twisting. Shifting and twisting. Just back and forth. Now you're seeing this in a more dynamic form. You can think of this with cloud hands or any kind of form that you understand, right? But the key is the hips. Guide it. And they speak of how far your shoulders come across. Right? We're coming back to some very simple Chen Qigong style techniques. Just to reiterate fundamentals, and for a few of you, myself included, to protect the knees. One challenge is with this that we're going to think about, and I'll apply differently over these next few weeks, is we had this idea before where up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain. That still applies, but what I'm going to ask is make it a lot less of a change. So there is a slight rise here, but then I'm going to come straight across. And then I'm going to shift and sink somewhere. Slight rise, and then come across. What we don't want is this idea. Because as you begin to test this, with a partner, you're going to realize that this is the point where they can throw you. This is the point where you're lifted. This is the point where you're vulnerable. So you want to maintain your connection with the earth and keep it somewhat flat. Relatively speaking, this is going to be more of a challenge, but we will find it's good fundamentals. And then over time, when you do reforms, you get fancy with it, sure. But as a basic practice, we're going to want to have this as your training. Nice and strong. Softness in the hips. Okay. Practice that best you can every day for a few minutes as your warm up, maybe even a cool down. I think this will be a great benefit.